Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I will just share one of the story I seen from the Wikiwin official first. Actually, what attracted me is not the content of the event, it is the caption. It says, "We never make mistakes." But actually, as previously a PR worker, crisis PR is one of my daily routine, and I have done a lot of affairs solution for many companies, small or large. But all of them, I rarely see any companies doesn't mistake. So does anyone sitting here today haven't made any mistakes so far? You can raise your hands up. Yeah. So I guess we never make mistakes. It's not that accurate. I guess what we want to talk us is how to avoid making mistake, and the core idea is to nip it in the bud. So firstly, I will introduce one of the allusion from ancient China. It happens in Chunqiu dynasty, and the character of this story is the king of Qi, the country, and I'll simply name the emperor Qi. And usually in his spare time, he spent at home. He usually asks his public servants or his servants at home, saying, "Am I comparing to others being better or not?" And all of the servants says, "Yes, definitely." But one day, one of his friends, this one, he came to Qi's home as well, and his name was Zhou. Qi asked him the same question, whether he is always better when comparing from the others. But Zhou said no, simply no. Qi was actually shocked and asked him why. He explained, "You're the emperor, you're the king of the nation. You have the right to punish anyone or even kill them. They're afraid of you, so they never tell you the truth." After that, he realized the truth. And on the second day, he announced anyone in the country can advise him with any suggestions based on the mistake he made previously or any shortage he had. And initially, there are lots of people coming to visit him, telling him suggestions like this figure shown. But after several months, there are already many people coming to advise him. And the other 6 countries heard the story, start to imitate the country, what the country did. And he became famous all over the world. But when back to nowadays, we're not the king of a nation. Not that many people will give us advice. So what we can do is to reflect from the mistakes we made. This is one of the image of my high school. And I believe all of the Chinese students know there's something called college entrance examination. And for students from Singapore, it's similar to A-level, from I know it so far. So during that period, the climate is quite intensive because people believe how do you do what's the result of the examination determines what type of university can you go. And that could determine the whole life of your own life. But all of the students you can see is preparing for their final examination. And that is the 3rd year of my senior high. And we also have the monthly exam, midterm and finals. I still remember it was one of the midterm tests in the first semester. And maybe the test is so difficult and all of the class didn't get the expected result from the examination. And everyone is frustrated. Then our teacher came in and told us, the examination is similar to your life. You can't only see the result. You have to see the process. It has more views. You have to see the mistake you made, correct them, reflect them, and extend your knowledge assets. And that is never make the same mistake second time. And that is one of the quotes from Dr. Lee. He says just several days ago on Thursday, "You can make any mistake here at NTU as your students. No one's gonna blame you." And 4 years later, when I was working in Ogui, the working pace is still very fast. But at the same time, we also can't not make any mistake because we are professional. But I made it. This is one of the chart I've done for our clients. And actually, I collected the data and I have to do the normal charts like that. But I was so busy because I got so many tasks to do. And I select the stacked line chart. I would say I still don't know what's the difference between those charts, but it's obvious the trend was wrong. And I also didn't do double check, so I didn't find a mistake. In the midnight that night, I was laying in bed playing with my cell phones, and my director asked me in the group chat. He swore at me, "Did you do double check after you finished the work? How come you didn't find such an obvious issue?" And such the time, my brain flashed, and I got off the bed, walked in front of my table, and started to correct my mistake, even though the director has already corrected and redo the new chart for me. And on the second day, the senior director came to see me, and we talked a lot. He asked what was happening last night, and told him the truth. And he told me, "Yeah, and you can't make the same mistake twice." And yes, I made it. Like after that mistake, around 4 months, I didn't make any mistake, even a typo during my work. And actually, the Dr. Lee's code haven't finished. There's a second half saying, when you make mistake, you have a serious consequences. It is, and very lucky, I didn't make mistake. I didn't hand over the mistake to our clients, but my college did so. One of my colleagues is the director as well, and one day he's discussing the issue with our clients in the group chat as well. But there are some arguments they made, but he can't align to them. Then he swore at our clients and lead the whole group team members to quit the group chat, just leaving our clients in there. And the affair quickly goes to our president. I didn't know what was the solution, how long does it take them to discuss the solution. But the result is, personally, the director was resigned. And secondly, for the company, we have to offer a much lower offer package than what we have offering now to continue our service and the contract. So sometimes, one mistake you made is the best way to do cost cutting for you. Similarly, when we standing on a global stage, you can see in Panama, the president, he saw their passport was not good looking as before. And he asked the immigration department to redesign it. And the immigration department redesigned several versions and hand over to the president. He said, "Good, we can issue it." And after several months, someone found their coat of arms was wrong. And here, it should be the grab hole instead of they used a hammer. That is wrong, and it is quite a shame to the whole country. You can imagine when you go abroad with the passport, and the other nation's people found your passport was printed wrong. How can that happen? But what the president did is, he asked the department to collect the 40,000 people's name. And on the 24th of October, 7 p.m., he gave a speech under live streaming. In that live streaming, he apologized to all the 40,000 people. Someone calculated, if he read all the names, 40,000 names, it's gonna spend 50 hours. And during the speech, at the third hours, someone called the hotline saying, "Dear President, we can't forgive you. We know you're kind. Can you stop apologizing to us?" But he didn't. He said, "I must cover what I did wrong, or how can I serve the country better?" And he continued. At the fourth hour, another much smarter audience called him, saying that if you don't accept our forgiveness, how do we believe you can receive our advice in the future and serve us better? And then he bowed in front of the camera and apologized to all of the citizens seriously. But differently from what the president of Panama did, it's a story from NASA. There are actually two affairs. The first thing is the League ladder. It happens in 1983. There was an aircraft, it dropped down due to the fuel is not enough. And after the investigation, it was found the researcher forgot to exchange or convert the unit of measurement from imperial unit to metric unit, which lead to their fuel is not enough to support them flying in the sky. But luckily, there are no people die in that accident. But around 20 years later, in 1999, after they sent their Mars orbiters to the Mars, and in September, it was the time to get it back. And the same thing happened again. In the return trip, the orbiter crashed again. After the investigation, they found the reason is same as the one happened in 1983. They made the mistake once, but they didn't put it in the central place. And they made the same mistake several years later again. But this time, the cost is much bigger. Everyone knows the orbiter costs a lot of people's effort and money to do it. And for the NASA at that age, they cost $125 million for it. And due to the small mistake, they forgot to convert the unit of measurement. Everything is gone. They got nothing, no data. All the efforts was gone. And that is, when we come back to the post I talked about, WikiMe official posted at the beginning of the speech. Actually, they got the update 12 hours later. They say some mistakes cost much more than the others. And yes, that is true. So nobody can make no mistakes in their lives. So what we can do is only to try to avoid it. So what we can do to avoid is, firstly, you can reflect from the mistake you made, correct it, and avoid making the second mistake again, the same mistake second time. And another one is, you can be more careful. Just as the title said, nip it in the bud. That is all for today's sharing.